Hello, this is Alex, and I've got yet another toy review here for you today. And these were ones I wanted to take a look at and review. They're the new Walking Dead figures by McFarlane. I think this is called their Colortop series, which is a new series that came out where they're kind of mixing in all their different properties in one kind of packaging style. I found these at the end cap at Target, and they're kind of taking that $20 slot like the Star Wars Black series and other similar size figures. But they were a little bit cheaper. They're like $17.99 instead, which is nice. They kind of undercut some of those figures. So here they are, and they look really good. There's been some controversy, seemingly, with them because they had a different series of Walking Dead figures. I think they were like this high on there, and they had a whole range of characters and a lot more articulation with them. I like these better. I didn't really get any of those, though I was tempted. The articulation just seemed a little awkward looking and looked fragile. I'll be honest with the McFarlane figures. I have a lot of toys, and not many of them break for how many I have, but I've had a lot of McFarlane toys break on me. It just seems to be something brittle with the plastic they use. So I kind of like the fact that there's less joints and less going on, and they're kind of built to be more statuesque, a lot more statuesque and stationary, though some of the different ones coming out are going to have more articulation on there. It seems like kind of a mix, so you might get them that are fully articulated and some that are basically just pre-posed like this, especially Michonne here. But I really like these. I think this is a good starting out point for anyone who didn't really get into the Walking Dead series before. You get just kind of the major characters looking iconic, and the sculpts on these are outrageous, of course, and that really plays to McFarlane's strength. Has kind of always been their sculpt and paint, so it looks really realistic. Michonne here looks almost like photorealistic if you catch her in the right light, so she looks really good. Really detailed and accurate sculpt, and they do have some articulation, and if you're kind of clever you can get some poses out of them. So you get the gun up. He does have a ball jointed head. The one thing that I don't really like about it is that the neck is really pre-posed, and that's okay. I think they could have, see if you turn his head, you get this weird thing jutting out, so I wish they would have just made it round and you wouldn't really notice, and that way you can turn his head more naturally, get some different poses out of him. But you can do that. He's got hidden joints where things connect so they don't really interrupt the sculpt at all, and they are removable from the bases, so you can get a little range out of them. But you know, if you're just taking a photo, just attacking a zombie or something, you can really set it up for nice dioramas, or just leave it on the desk and it looks really cool, just like that. It's not meant to be posed like a Marvel Legend, and I think that's okay on there. And then Michonne's really good. She does have articulation too, but it's harder to get different poses out of her that make sense. But you can, if you're clever, like I said, you can kind of play around with it a little bit on there. And the one thing I don't like too is that you can't actually get her sword in there like that, which I thought you'd be able to do. I don't know if you'd really need to with the pose, but it seems like something they could have added on there. But this one in particular, I like the sculpt on it. Just looks really cool on there. So taking off the base there too. Sword looks cool. So yeah, I really like these. I recommend them. I think it's kind of its own thing compared to the other Walking Dead figures, so I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm not really sure if they're continuing that series at all or not. There's still some coming out right now, so that might actually continue, and this will just kind of be its own thing. I'm excited to see some of the other figures, like a classic Spawn in this series, other characters, and see what other properties they'll have too. But I, for one, think they're really cool. They're well done, interesting figures that play well to McFarlane's strengths. So if you're on the fence, I would give them a try, and I think you'll like what you find.